All right, Dogs by Nature, Rufio here. Today we're looking at Baker Mayfield's stare-down play, which was the game-clinching play made by Baker Mayfield in the Week 16 matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals. As you can see from the scoreboard here, time is running low in the fourth quarter. The Browns are up a little bit, put up 26 early points, but the Bengals came roaring back to score 18. So the Browns offense really needed something here to kind of stem that tide, drain out the clock a little bit, try to pick up a first down and just, take some knees to end the game. On the Browns' previous drives, they had just run the ball into the teeth of the Bengals defense. Very predictable runs, given the situation, just trying to bleed clock and make the Bengals call their timeouts. So here, we actually let Baker run some offense and throw the ball a little bit, trying to get that game-sealing first down, and boy did we. So the play call for the Browns is going to be a spacing concept to the right of the field. You can see we have a trips bunch formation here. We've got Landry as the outer wide receiver. We have Fells on the line here, and then behind him Njoku as a receiver as well. Now in the spacing concept, the roles of which receiver runs which route can really be shuffled around. A lot of times you'll see them do a lot of kind of switching and weaving at the beginning. One of the strengths of that bunch formation is it's hard to play press coverage because you create such natural picks running this route concept out of that formation. But regardless of who you see going where, you'll see three routes for the spacing concept. The one is an arrow route that's going to be run up the field and horizontal. The main focus of this route is to get horizontal and spread the defense out horizontally, but you also ideally would want to push to 4 to 5 yards worth of depth as well, so getting up the field a little bit, but mostly wide. The next route you're going to see from the spacing concept is basically a mini curl route. Different teams run this different ways. Some will push a little wide, run a little post, and then curl. You'll also see some teams just run like a straight up, kind of run down the field, push vertical, and turn around kind of route. But that route is going to be essentially the middle part of the spacing concept. We have the arrow route wide. This is the middle, the curl. And then to the inside, we're going to have a sit route. So you're going to run inside sort of the nearest linebacker, usually is how it's coached. And then you're just going to turn around and show the quarterback your numbers to create the inside kind of hook in that spacing concept. There are a lot of fine-tuning coaching points of how that's run, but essentially that's what we're doing is three routes to horizontally spread the Bengals defense. On the other side of the play, we have a common man-to-man beating concept. With spacing to one side, a lot of teams will run a tag here for this wide receiver. So they will call a route based on what they think the coverage is going to be. And then they can change that route with an audible or sometimes you see a hand signal to tell this wide receiver, which route we like against this coverage. In this instance, we're going to have Callaway here run a slant route, just a sort of a skinny slant. And then Chubb is going to run a flat route, so a shoot route to the flat, creating a slant flat concept. Now, this slant flat concept is a good man-to-man coverage beating route. We do have it open on this play if Baker wants it, but his read, his pre-snap read, took him to the right side of the formation first. So you can see on this play, slant flat to the high side. If we can wait till Callaway clears that linebacker, we do have him open for a big gain. If Baker wanted to get the ball out quickly, Chubb's head is around and he is ready for the ball before the numbers, and this linebacker is inside of him and will get outflanked. And we've all seen Chubb make some plays in the open field one-on-one with the defender. That wouldn't have been a bad choice either. The spacing side of the concept, however, gets a little bit more muddied up. The Bengals do a great job here of chipping away at this tight end, that's Fells, with a defensive end before he gets into the pass rush, and that really disrupts the timing of the play. Obviously, Fells is wide open, but he is disrupted by that jam at the line of scrimmage, so the timing of the play is thrown off. By the time he's ready for the ball, Baker's already running for his life. So credit the Bengals defense here with doing a great job of disrupting our first read on this play, disrupting the timing of the play, and covering at least well enough, early enough, that they were able to get that free rusher home to Baker. However, you've heard this said on TV broadcasts, I've said it many, many times, Baker does things that you don't expect a rookie quarterback to be able to do. These are things that, just rookies just shouldn't be able to do, and he is there and ready to burn you every time. So Baker eludes the rush and obviously hits Njoku with a perfectly placed pass, and we've all seen what Njoku can do in the open field. He makes the big play, runs away from defenders, and almost gets in the end zone. But the interesting part of this play to me comes when we're looking at the end zone angle. The Bengals did not only a good job of disrupting our pass rush here, but they disrupted our protection as well. So you can see immediately before the snap, this tackle here, this defensive tackle, shifts his position just very slightly from this sort of two-eye technique over Petonio to a one technique on the outside shoulder. Well, they're all outside shoulders at the center, but on the shoulder of Treader. I don't know if this movement particularly confused the Browns' protections or if we just had something that we didn't get communicated, but to me, both sides of the line are not working together in this protection. So you can see on the snap of the ball that our right side of the line plus Treader plus Petonio are in a slide protection to the right. What that is essentially a zone pass protection. So every man, every one of these four linemen has that gap to his right that he's responsible for. We're just essentially going to all slide to the right, and whatever comes your way through that gap, you're going to pick up. And this kind of pass protection is great for picking up stunts and games and twists by the linemen. As you can see here, we do a great job. The Bengals have a stunt on, essentially, where this three technique is going to pick somebody, and the one technique is going to wrap over the top, and they're hoping that creates a free rusher if we're in a man-to-man protection. But the zone protection has absolutely no issues with this at all. We pick it up very easily, and that's what a slide protection is good at. So on the back side of this protection is where things get confusing. So to me, it's pretty clear that we had the slide called to the right here. Obviously, I'm not in the Browns huddle. I don't know what this protection is supposed to be. But these three guys, I can't see any way that this is their fault. On the back side of the play, on the left side of the play, a number of things could have happened here. And, when you're running 5 men out into the route, there's only so many protections that you can have available. But I don't think we run any of them adequately here. So, to me, it looks like Petonio is under the impression that Robinson is going to block this defensive end man-to-man, and that he is free to slide to the right along with this tackle that went that way. And a lot of times this half slide protection, which you call half slide, you'll have half the line sliding one way, which we have, and you'll have a big on big protection to the other side. So Petonio in this instance would block this tackle, and Robinson would block this end. And I think that's what Petonio thinks is happening here. He follows that tackle inside. Upon realizing that this is a stunt, he sort of turns his protection into a slide protection and is able to pass that stunt off. Robinson then would be responsible for this defensive end. But as you can see, Robinson clearly is not blocking this defensive end. He is pass setting wide to take away this outside linebacker. So to me, that signals that Robinson believes that Petonio is actually coming outside with him. A lot of teams would call this sort of a joker call. Usually that's to slide actually the protection to the left here. But when you get this kind of look with this outside linebacker on the line of scrimmage outside the defensive end, you'll make a call to kick the offensive tackle out to the wide guy and the guard out to the end. So obviously, without being in the Browns huddle, I can't tell what we had called and what should have happened here. But what ended up happening was very good for the Bengals and very bad for the Browns. So something that the Bengals did that was very smart with this play was they had 3 immediate pass rushing threats on either side of the line of scrimmage. So if we want to release 5 receivers out into the route, we have 5 blockers left. If they send everybody, we can't pick them all up, right? Even if we perfectly get, people matched up, there's an extra available rusher there. So regardless of what happens, Baker has to be aware in this situation that the ball may need to come out quick, and he has to know that the Bengals could potentially bring more rushers than we have blockers. So off the snap of the ball, you can see both of these linemen that are out there that Robinson could have been blocking appear to be pass rushing. But pretty quickly, the outside linebacker puts on the brakes, seeing that he's drawn Robinson to him and starts to retreat. So Robinson begins to redirect, try to kick inside and pick up this defensive end. But by the time he gets in there, he's too late. And this is a 3-step drop for Mayfield. It's 3 big steps when you're reading spacing. By the time he gets to that second step, 1, 2, you see how quick that third step is because he feels this inside pass rusher coming unblocked, and he knows that he has to get the hell out of there. And this is something that you just can't teach, right? The Bengals had a great defensive play call on. They confuse us with their pre-snap look. They disrupt our timing. They disrupt our protection. They get a free inside rusher, one of their best pass rushers, coming at the quarterback, and Baker still escapes from pressure and burns them. He makes them pay. And I just want you to pay attention to exactly where this ball is upon completion. You can see Fells is a little bit more open to the outside, but this would have been a harder throw here, planting that right foot in the ground and delivering this back across all this action inside. Instead, Baker sees Njoku flash open on his curl route, fits the ball in, but not only does he fit the ball in, he avoids a defender in his path, and he reads the coverage man to the outside, puts that ball on Njoku's inside shoulder, allowing him to turn away from that defender, and in this case actually shed that tackle and go on to make a big play. And this is just Njoku just juking out a safety in the middle of the field. He's a very athletic receiver. We know the kind of things he can do with the ball in his hands. But this is the kind of thing you don't expect a rookie quarterback to be able to do. Even some veterans, right? They wouldn't be able to buy time like this and deliver that kind of ball on the run as a play is breaking down. And that, Browns fans, is what Baker Mayfield is bringing to the table that I'm so excited to see as he moves forward in his NFL career. So thanks, Browns fans, for tuning in. So I'm Rufio. Make sure you visit dogsbynature.com for all your Cleveland Browns news and analysis. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'll see you in the next one.